Miata. And now we're talking to Derek Jenkins from Mazda, head of Mazda Design, who just last night, had a very big event out there in California. How are you, Derek?
I'm doing great, thank you, Javier.
Yeah, so the new Miata, the new MX-5 Miata was revealed last night in Monterey, California, which is the home of the Mazda Speedway. And a very, very cool event. It was broadcast all over the world, over the internet, and I mean, the car looks fantastic. So before we go into the details of the car, I want to hear your reaction, what you heard the reaction, because I understand that you have a lot of current owners of the Mazda right there in the audience, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was interesting because we had a combination of obviously media and all key members of Mazda, and then a huge group of owners and enthusiasts, people from the MX-5 Miata owners clubs all over the country. We had a large group of them, and so when we unveiled the car, I mean, the reaction was just overwhelming, you know, as you can imagine. And of course, the enthusiasts were the most vocal of the bunch, and it was just such a great environment because it was such genuine reaction to the car. And then following that, just a tremendous amount of feedback, a lot of questions and comments were all really positive.
Yeah. So as I was watching, as I said during the online broadcast of the presentation, and I heard you talking about the huge responsibility for you as a designer to create this new generation of a car, because as you say, all the enthusiasts, all the previous owners for the past 25 years have made this very iconic car, and like there's a balance, as you were mentioning, right, between like keeping the DNA of the car and making it modern, and I guess making it enough changes to attract new owners.
Yeah, that was a really big kind of, I don't want to call it a struggle, but it's something that you're really trying to find the correct recipe, if you will. And I think that, you know, it's fair to say that the MX-5 and the three prior generations have become somewhat of a classic car, right? And so there's a tremendous love for that, and we wanted to respect that and make sure that we're not just creating, you know, just simply another modern car. It had to respect the heritage and the formula that's been successful, but yet at the same time, I think we all felt that it was time for a healthy step forward as well, you know. So balancing those two things, as you can imagine, was very challenging, with a lot of trial and error and a lot of different opinions and things to consider. But you know, I really feel we found that correct balance for this point in time and looking forward.
Yeah. So can we go a little bit? Obviously, this is radio. We're gonna post. We already have posted all the pictures and images from the car itself, so people, the audience, can look at them on the internet. But can we go through like what you would call the main designing details that make it different? For me, it's like the front, but I don't know what. I mean, obviously, you designed it.
Yeah, I mean, I think without question, the most striking initial aspect of the car, I think, is the front of the car, and you know, part of that's created through the proportions. You know, the car is lower, and as a result, it looks wider, although it's similar in width to today's car. But because it's lower, it looks a lot wider. And then the hood and nose we brought really low to the ground and made it a lot more what we call stance oriented. You know, so a lot more of the visual weight of the car is pushed out to the wheels. It gets the car low to the ground, looking very horizontal. And then, of course, the face of the car is, let's say it's less neutral as it's been in the past. So it's a little more confident, a little bit more intent. You see the powerful kind of striking eyes, and how planted the front bumper is. It's all very important to creating a look that I feel complements the true driving ability of the car. The car is so capable on the road, so we wanted the front of the car to really reflect that. The side of the car is very simple, but has a very sensuous kind of movement to it, and that's where we wanted to bring in that classic beauty of the traditional Roadster, but still do it in a modern way, still do it with a very clean surface look, and not a lot of line work, very important.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the back of the car is very tapered, with a big emphasis on the sculpting, pushing out to the rear fenders, and creating that strong stance.
Yeah.
And as well as strong lighting signature in the rear, very important.
Exactly. I was going to talk about the lighting because with the new LED technology, that allows you designers to create a very dramatic image in the front of the car, both front and back, right? I mean, this has make them smaller, thinner.
Yeah, the lights in the front especially are only possible through dual mode LED. You'll see that the height of the lights are very slim, and the slimmest we've ever done, and I think most likely possibly some of the slimmest lighting in the industry right now. It's a huge part of the character of the car for sure.
Yeah. So the car was unveiled yesterday simultaneously in Tokyo, in Monterey, California, and in Barcelona, Spain, because obviously this is a global car. I mean, with a lot of people who love it all around the world. And they haven't announced too many specs of it, right? I mean, just like the SKYACTIV technology in the engine, but they haven't announced much more than that, right?
Yeah, at this point, they're waiting a little while to unveil the full technology suite and specifications and horsepower ratings and whatnot. So that's still yet to come.
Yeah, and so the other thing is, I guess you were watching later, I guess online. I watched a little bit the initial reactions. What any comments that caught your attention?
Probably the number one thing, and I'm really happy about, is surprise. People, I think there was this thinking that maybe we were going to do a very small change, or we were going to make the face or feeling of the car just like exactly the same as our other cars. But I think there was a kind of pleasant surprise. People weren't anticipating this big a change, and I think they weren't anticipating that the car would be so unique and standalone in Mazda lineup. Obviously, it still has a strong relationship to Mazda 3, 6, and CX-5, but I think generally it was a pretty big surprise for people, and I'm happy about that. I think the last thing we wanted to do is something completely predictable.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were actually with Mazda at the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance a few weeks ago, driving the 25th anniversary edition, and people love the car. Everywhere you go, like people are like high fives and like thumbs up and everything. So is this the car that you unveiled yesterday? Is a drivable vehicle yet, or is just like a model design?
We had two vehicles at the show yesterday. We had one car which is a full running prototype, pre-production prototype. So that's drivable, although it's not in its final production condition. Yeah. And the other car is a design model, so a completely static model that you can sit in, but it's very delicate, so it's more for display purposes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an exact replica.
Yeah, no, I was asking to hear from you if you have heard any reactions, because one thing for me at least, when you see cars on a display, maybe like yesterday events, and then you see them in pictures maybe, and then like you see them on the road, the image of the car changes when it's in the environment what it was designed for, right?
Yeah, dramatically, and fortunately yesterday we were at least able to show one of the cars indoors on the stage, and then one of the cars outdoors in the natural evening light, which it just looks so much different. And if you'll see that online, you'll see a lot of the journalists' pictures, of the car outside, and it looks so different. But it's definitely for the audience. They're going to learn the car over time as more and more images come to light. And then, of course, when they finally see the car driving on the road, you have then again a completely renewed impression all over again. And I think that's just natural. Even myself as a designer, I'll see a car that just comes out, it's shown online, and I'll be like, it's okay. And then all of you driving on the road, and you're like, oh my God, I want one immediately.
Completely different, yeah, absolutely.
It's really just, it's so hard, so difficult to judge vehicles by pictures, static pictures, because that's not the world in which cars live.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
So we're talking to Derek Jenkins from Mazda, the head of Mazda Design, about the fourth generation of the Mazda MX-5. And Derek, I understand there's a big celebration going on this weekend all in Monterrey with the reunion for the 25th anniversary, the new car and everything, right?
That's correct. We're finishing up this week all of our media presentations, and then come Saturday and Sunday we have a giant reunion of all generations MX-5, huge enthusiast group together with the new car, and so you're going to see lots and lots of Miatas, that's for sure.
That's great. Well, Derek, thank you very much. And I guess the car will start making the rounds on the auto shows pretty soon, and it'll be on production and on sale next year, right?
That's correct. You are going to see it at all the upcoming big shows, and you'll get a lot more technical information over the coming weeks and months.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and congratulations. And I can't wait to drive this the new Mazda.
Appreciate it. Stay tuned. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
No se vayan, que cuando regresemos tenemos más información sobre el debut de la cuarta generación del Mazda MX Miata desde allá de Monterrey, en California.
Este programa fue una producción de National Latino Broadcasting.